Okay. Welcome back to class. It is Tuesday, November 14th. And last week, as I was saying, we had a heavy discussion around identity and clans. I think it was a good start for us as a group. This week, we're going to take a pause on that conversation, following the advice of my mentors to take a step back, keep it lighthearted this week, and then continue that conversation as we do as a group in the long haul. So I appreciate your questions. Today we're going to study Ḳukahaa, and when I touched base with your goals this morning, every week I review the goals that you submitted to me at the beginning of class. I know that some of you are elementary school teachers and that you're looking for materials you can use in the classroom. Some of your goals are to be able to say, read, and write 3 to 5 sentences by the end of December. I know that as a group, we've achieved that goal, but if individually you feel like that's my goal is to say, speak, read, write, and understand 3 to 5 sentences, if that is a challenge to you individually, I'm relying on you to let me know. So you can send me an email, you can let me know in the chat, and I can work with you individually. So, does that sound good, Ykekwe?
Um, I missed a couple classes. Can you send the link for the from the beginning to today?
Hi, Carrie. Yeah, thank you for the reminder. I'm gonna send those links out to Ati today, for our whole session so far.
Oh,
And
that's great.
yeah, I apologize for my delay in getting those out to you.
No worries. It's just because I always have to leave early because I have to go to work at noon. Haha.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And you all are an hour ahead of us too, right? Is it 11 a.m. in Atlin?
It's 11 o'clock here.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Alrighty. So recordings, we'll get those out. And today, like I mentioned, we're going to study Ḳukahaa. So we'll start with our review. And unless you have a lot of background noise, go ahead and unmute your mics and we'll practice pronouncing our phrases that we've learned so far as a group. So repeat after me. Yk'ehat yi ade.
Yeah.
I want to really hear this second Y in yi ade. So repeat after me just the last word. Yi ade. And the whole phrase. Yk'ehat yi ade.
Yeah.
That's really good. Gonalchish had yi ade. Okay. Yk'ehat yigude. Really snap this pinched K and yke. Repeat after me just the first word. Yke. Yeah, there you go. And the whole phrase. Yk'ehat yigude. Okay. Gonalchish hat yigude. Is this a phrase you say to one person or multiple people?
One.
One person. Yeah, away. That's right. Yuchatuasak.
Oh, I should.
And you can put your name. Now I'll put my name, Nila Toga. Y'all can put your name here in the blank. Nila Toga Yuchatuasak.
Mike,
Llingit Reinach Nila Toga Yuchatuasak. Yeah. Okay.
Can we break that down and just
Yike,
That
yeah,
was quite the tongue twister for me.
absolutely. Yes, it is. Thank you for speaking up. And it is a tongue twister. So let's start with probably the most challenging sound, which is this underline X followed by an apostrophe and then a high tone EI. So repeat after me just this first sound. A.
Eh,
Mm-hmm. The way you make this sound, as a reminder, if you didn't have the apostrophe, it would sound like this. Repeat the sound after me. Yeah, just like you're annoyed at your brother for teasing you. And then to pinch it, because the apostrophe tells you to pinch it, you're gonna stop the air in your throat and just squeeze out, blow out the air that's already in your mouth from your throat up. So it'll sound like this. Repeat after me. Did that sound come through?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so repeat after me. A.
eh,
Yeah, I can hear that it's sharper. And now we're going to add the second syllable that has an unpinched underline X. So repeat just this sound after me. Nach.
Nah.
Now the whole word. Nach.
Nah.
Oh my gosh. That's so good. One more time. I want to hear it again. Nach.
Nah.
Dingit. Nach. Yuchat duasak.
you
Mm. So the whole line, put your own name in the blank. Llingit reinach nila toga yucha duasak. I hear laughter. That's a good sign. To me, that says you're being challenged, but you have a good attitude about it. And that's my ask of you. Um, let's do it again because this is a lot. It's a lot to dive in, but it's important to do it and just take your time. So a couple reminders when you have a phrase that's a challenge to you, be kind to yourself. Don't expect perfection right off the bat. Look at it as something you're gonna have a relationship with for the next, rest of your life. Okay, so don't expect yourself to be perfect. Just have fun with it. Let's do just this last word. Repeat after me. Duwasak. Khat duwasak. You khat duwasak. Again. You khat duwasak. Yeah. Now put your name in the blank. Nila Torah. You khat duwasak. Okay, repeat this sound after me. Nach. Hey, nach. Singit. Singit. Hey, nach. Okay, take a deep breath. Singit. Hey, nach. Nila Torah. Yuchat duasak. Yeah, good. Your tones sound so good. How did that feel in your body?
It's like singing.
I'm like I have knots in my tongue.
Knots in your tongue? Okay, that's a good description. Who else?
Tension.
Tension, okay. In your chest?
Yes.
Okay, tension in your chest, knots in your tongue. What else did we feel?
I feel it's like singing.
It is like singing because the tones. We
Yeah,
have
the
two tones.
duasak.
Yeah, away. That sounds perfect. And we're exaggerating the tones, but later, as you become more conversational, elder speakers will be able to hear, oh yeah, their tones sound good. So we're over pronouncing them now, but it's important to get the tones right from the beginning.
Just a quick question.
Yeah.
And, how long did it take you to learn all of this?
I've been learning Tlingit since 2017. When I started, I was taking it 3 times per week as a student at UAS. So I was a full-time student. I was dedicating a lot of time to it. And I had the ability to do that. I had the time. And to get these phrases, usually when I just started out, I would focus on one phrase and repeat it kind of obsessively, even if our vocabulist for the week was 5 or 6 phrases. I would focus on the hardest one and just focus on that for maybe a week and just allow myself that time. Okay, maybe I'll pick up these other ones later, but this is the one I'm focusing on. Does that help?
No.
Okay.
I
What
mean,
else?
but
Yeah.
I feel like I'm so far behind.
Yeah.
And I mean, if you did individual teaching, I mean, I have the time like every day to do this, except for Tuesdays, but
Yeah.
to do it like I learn better one-on-one, like,
Yeah.
because then I don't feel so stupid.
Our tutors might be
Like,
helpful.
feeling like I'm so tongue twisted and everything and that. And I think one of the things is I do have a learning disability, so it takes me a little bit longer, and I think that's why I'm struggling so much.
Yeah. Well, you're not stupid, first of all. Secondly, thank you for sharing because the feelings that you're going through are things that I went through as well, and I think it's really common for all of us as language learners to have an immediate feeling of I'm so behind. And that's really common, I think, especially in a daily working world where perfection is our daily expectation in most realms of our lives. It's common to feel like I'm so behind. But one thing we agreed on in this class is that since we're a multi-level class, sometimes there are people in this room who have been studying Tlingit for 6 years, and there are people who are just starting out today. So as a reminder, some days you're going to feel extra challenged, like I'm behind, because I hear other people making these sounds with ease and I'm not there. So that's a very valid feeling. But since we are a multi-level class, I would just ask that you be kind to yourself individually and be like, okay, maybe I'm behind like 6 or 7 people in this class, but it's okay. It gives me something to shoot for.
Okay.
The other thing I'm hearing is also very valid, that you want more daily practice. I only have you for 1 hour every week, and then I have so far failed to give you the recordings to practice. So that's on my part. I need to do a better job of giving you materials to practice so that when you see me on Tuesday, you can spend 6 days practicing rather than have to come back to it after taking 6 days off. So thank you
Yeah.
for that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Satiga.
Nila Toga, you need to be kind to yourself as well. You're doing a lot. The recordings will get there. I just wanted to say, if you just go to YouTube and do a search for Tlingit, you come up with just a treasure trove of all kinds of videos. Pretty much every class that's ever been done has been up there. There's all kinds of elders telling stories or just talking about how things are. And just having those going in the background is a great way to keep it in your head.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah, because I do have an app on Tlingit Learning, but that doesn't really help me much.
Yeah, it depends on your learning style.
Because it goes by so fast. It's like say a phrase and you do it, and then they say, okay, say it again. You do it, and then it doesn't go into depth.
Yeah.
So I'm just listening. I'm going, this is not a bit, well, this is not a help at all.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, the app, the
Right.
Quicken that I found.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I'll make sure I get our class recordings to you all. Good discussion. I'm glad that we can do this together. How many of us are here today? We have 38 people. So we're a group of 38 working through this together. That's an enormous amount of support, and I appreciate you guys going through this journey together. Okay, are you ready for another one?
Mhm.
Okay. Okay. Um, so repeat these first two words after me. Tleitcha,
Ḻeitqa,
tleitcha, ḳunáx.
ḻeitqa, ḵúnáx.
For anyone who knows, what do these first three words mean in English?
How are you?
My
I'm
English name
guessing.
is
White person language.
Yeah, so
In English.
tleitcha. Yep. Go ahead.
Oh, in English, I'm called.
Yeah, oh, wait. In English, I'm called. So tleit is the word for snow. Ka is the word for man. And this is used as a contraction for white man. And ḳunáx means through the mouth of. So through the mouth of a white man is the way that we say in English in Tlingit. So in English, I am called blank. Another thing I'll point out here, just as an observation, the blank where you put your name comes before yu-ḳuwsi.áatʼ, which means I'm called. So if I were to translate this literally in the word order, starting from the blank, I would say, Anna, I am thus I am called. So just not jumping too far into depth, because I don't want to overcomplicate, but I want us to make a habit of noticing that the word order is different in Tlingit than it would be in English. So just accepting that as we learn, that the blank where I put my name comes first, and then I say, thus I am called. Anna yu-ḳuwsi.áatʼ. So repeat after me. Yu-ḳuwsi.áatʼ.
yu-ḳuwsi.áatʼ.
Now say your English name in the blank. Anna yu-ḳuwsi.áatʼ.
yu-ḳuwsi.áatʼ.
Now just the first three words. Tleitcha, ḳunáx. And the whole phrase. Take a breath and relax. Try to relax your throat and your chest. Tleitcha, ḳunáx. Anna yu-ḳuwsi.áatʼ. Yeah, you sound really good. So one thing I wanted to point out about this phrase, based off what you all told me, is you felt tension in your chest. You felt like you had knots in your mouth, and you felt tight. So one thing that I do, because I go through those feelings too, is deliberately relax my body and slow down. So slowing yourself down is a great way to calm your mind and your body. If I think it's pretty natural and normal to see letters that you're unfamiliar with and start tensing up, like I want to get it right, but you need to breathe and slow down. So the way you approach difficult sounds or sounds that are new to you is to just slow down, take your time, because the impulse is to rush through it. But you sounded good. Okay, next phrase is nachetsiti. We're going to use an example clan. We're going to use Kagwantan. So everyone just say Kagwantan for the blank. Repeat after me. Kagwantan na Ḵuwsi.
Kagwantan.
City.
One more time. Kagwantan na Ḵuwsi.
City.
Okay. So we're talking about my clan, which is my mother's clan. Not Kagwantan, but the phrase here is na Ḵuwsi. I'm saying I am this clan. That's my mother's clan. When we address people, as we read in our text last week, we primarily want to focus on our opposite clan. So that would be your father's clan. And that would be this one. Repeat after me. Yadia yachet. Okay. The only low tone vowel in this one is the letter I. And so everything else should sound high tone. So repeat after me. Yadia yachet. Good. I am child of this blank clan. New phrases we're going to learn and focus on today. We get to watch Kuhanti. Has anyone watched this yet? I see some excitement in the crowd. Hands up. Okay.
Yeah.
2 thumbs up. Hands up.
The 2
Excellent.
thumbs up because I'm excited. Not that I've seen it.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm excited too. So I'm gonna play it, and it's about 6.5 minutes long. I'm gonna put it on the big screen, and then we'll focus on just the first sentence that we hear. So we're gonna watch it just for fun, start to finish. I'm not gonna pause it or interrupt it. I'm not gonna expect you to write anything down. I just want you to watch it. You can read along on the subtitles and enjoy yourself, and then we'll jump into studying afterwards. Yungeywane, are you ready? Okay, here we go.
Táakw ḵuwsi.áatʼ
I'm going to turn on the subtitles. 1 second. Okay, here we go. I'm going to rewind and hit play.
Táakw ḵuwsi.áatʼ hastu ḳusti. Ḳúnáx ník tlain ká kat uagut ká ník jídch qut qushuahi. Yashat katsku sahan yutu wasak away to in ank. The cut has away the nak has cow the eat. Yashat katsku sahan qunach tushe an qatlets ak kainach away qudzati. Yaka shat the hanich the tutla ani a dach yawada kawasa ka ich the she. A jawe a toot a jiwatan awa has to seek chunich nach satit. Yaka shat the honey to seek sahan tin gugu. Yahin chayach de to toaw sagu. Yahin yikdachsa atihin. Ke akawa kwaji. Ke atana jindach. Sheshe itanach ijindach. Ye ayaw sakha sahan. Kay ni sakit we hin yegi we akutut la sayi ye shakas ye kinug. Gawt Ḳukahaa Dís ḥukahaa Dís Llanall Ḥiqhaa Awashaa An Yadich Satilchach Helli Wuyat a Idach Wushas Wudashai Shishak at Qanehas to Kadeju de Good Wananisawe do Narhi Ya Shunahe Ye Yautuzaka Hel Ishhet Yidat a Joey Ishatch a to gate wood to git we heen yegi to shut one yak uwa gut do yitki tea Hel to Toa Ushka we Shishak at has to Hugh ye uti Nashkidech sati Ja'an awayak at Ḥukahaa Dís awati Kuhanti sahan akashayit Adasa tlel atchtulyechi ye asnech Helli Wuyati awe du tuwa dach du chuch katu in aag supulnalch Ayuk the cut yak at du jian kautaga yak at ha katlaqayi na at kasaid kakis Ḥukahaa Dís da Ḳúnáx away du yid has sahan awa has du tlaq sati Dachnach yati has llanalch Qadachnach yati Qwa Nashkidech hasati Qatlel has ushcheit Yadachnach llanalch Yadu has du Khant has qaatin awa Gadain has du daat yaw satak Kadak ye usneich ya yaki du zikri ya Qanashkide Tlel Gadain has du daat yaw ustak Sahan ye yawaka Hellach tuwa ushka we Qanashkide Akha has akhayi we yaki zik ya Qanashkide Q'uwu atch alyechi Hel Gadain kukati Take a talk tik Chayakudach una awe du Khana Aka awe tlel usnach Tsuk Nashkidech wusati wegao Ye wudu waji Hel ushchet Achawe wik Nashkide du ik has Tlel tul an has du in Achawe ye wune Pushtayach wasa llanalch Ḥukahaa has du ya a yakune
Okay, pretty neat, huh? What'd you think? Yay! Loved it.
Well, I didn't understand a word of it, and I tried to follow along with the pictures, but I still don't have a clear picture of what that story was.
Good. That's a good, because that's where we want to start, because we're going to study this and focus on one line at a time. So I'm happy to hear that. Anyone else?
It seemed like it was depicting the start by showing two women who were friends, I'm guessing, who were well dressed, well mannered, and then I think one of them was getting married or something, and then how they had some kind of like the special hat and then a necklace, which I'm guessing was their sacred pouch or something, and how it brought luck to them and wealth so that they could fish well and eat well and dress well, and then how they would ignore the poorer people of the tribe and ignore them and not give and mock them. And then when the spirit saw this, is he took away that, he took the hat away and everything, and then they ended up crying, and then when they realized why, then they started sharing their food and their wealth to include everyone. That's just my interpretation.
Awesome. No, that's really good.
I
That
don't
was
know if
dead.
that's right. I have no idea what they were saying, but I was just going by what I saw.
Yeah. No, that was really, really good. It was fun for me to hear you describing it because a lot of the words you used are direct translations of the words that were in like lucky, wealthy, not wealthy. That was really good. Thank you for sharing.
So was
Anyone?
I partially right?
Yeah. So no spoilers because our goal is to study this one line at a time, but
Oh my gosh.
one or two lines at a time. No, no, you're good. Because what you interpreted visually is going to help you. It's going to help all of us in our journey of translating this story together. Very good. So, anyone else wanted to share their thoughts, impressions, feelings about the work?
I heard do a sock.
Okay.
And I
That's
was
what-
like, yay, I know a word.
Yeah, that's what listening comprehension
Yeah.
is. So that's something, in my metric that I gave everybody for where we're at the beginning of class, I would mark that as I understand a few words. That I heard that spoken, I knew what they were saying and I identified it. That's listening. That's part of your listening comprehension. And as we continue, that will continue to improve.
I did recognize one phrase, which was the Haudenosaunee, I think,
Uh-huh.
which is
Uh-huh.
the leader of the clan, which is the leader of that clan.
Yeah, Nasha de honey.
Haudenosaunee, which is the leader of the clan, right?
Yeah, really good.
I only know that because my brother, my biological brother is the Hush is that for my clan.
Oh, cool. What clan is that? Frog.
Yeah. Frog
Yeah. Okay. I
Frog
remember.
clan in Carcross.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Ishki
I have to
clan?
say though, when I first heard about frog, I was like, we couldn't have found a better clan animal. Like
The frog is an excellent clan animal.
well, it is. I have to say, when I first found out, I was 18, and I'm like, that's it. There's the wolf, there's the raven, then there's the frog, and then I can't remember the whale. And I'm like, we got the smallest thing.
The smallest. Okay. So let's focus on the first line. Everyone repeat this word after me. Kuhanti.
Kuhan.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now I'm going to read this little excerpt to you and just sit back and relax. You don't need to repeat after me. I just want you to follow along as I read.
Oh, geez.
So, táakw ḥkuwsi.áatʼ ḥkuwsi.áatʼ Խúnáx tlaen ḵúkáhat uagat ḵúwsi.áatʼ. So these are the first couple of lines in Ḵukahaa, and the one I put
Hi,
bold is the one we're going to focus on
going for a
first.
swim.
Get on mute, please.
Oops, I think I might have muted the wrong person. Sorry. Okay, so we're gonna focus on the bold one, and we'll practice our translation together. This first phrase I looked up for you ahead of time, and we're just gonna read it. So, Ḳukahaa is Tlingit for orphan, and it means not adopted. If you look this word up in the dictionary, you get what looks like some type of mathematical equation below it. This is called a gloss. And for the intermediate and advanced learners, this can come in handy when you're trying to find out what individual parts of the word mean. For beginners, I wouldn't worry too much about it and just know that this will become something in your language journey. So Han, with this square root symbol before it for the advanced learners, signifies that what follows is a verb root. Okay, so your verb root is your core meaning of your verb. And if you follow the arrow, everything is in order. So whatever came after the verb root sign on the Tlingit side will come after the verb root sign on the English side. So now we see that Han is a verb root that in English translates to adopt. And our literal translation for Ḳukahaa is not adopted. In other words, an orphan. If you're interested in other parts of dictionary entries, we have some initials here in parentheses. These are contributors to this knowledge. So as we know, Tlingit is an endangered language, and people have to go through a lot of work to get information to compile these dictionaries. And so some of those people that contributed to this knowledge are JC for James Crippen, JL for Jeff Lear, and KE for Carrie Eggleston. And this just helps us understand the source. Any questions on that so far? Yeah.
I've got a quick question. So thank you for explaining what looks like a math equation below, because I've looked at that many times and I have had no idea where to dive in. So just looking at this line, is the 0 with the line through it, is that the not? Is that signifying?
Good guess. That's not what it means.
Okay.
In Tlingit, whatever comes right before, so for advanced learners, whatever comes right before the verb root is the classifier. It's what we call a classifier in linguistic explanation of Tlingit, and it applies a more specific meaning to your verb. So our core meaning is Han, meaning adopted, and then you can become more specific from there. And so this circle with a slash through it is letting you know that we have what's called a 0 classifier, meaning you don't make a sound there. And that's all I'm going to say for now. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
How would you pronounce that?
So this, are you talking about the gloss or the word?
The word.
The word is Ḳukahaa.
Ḳukahaa. Okay. So the word below it, which is the KA dash U dash, and then there's the no sound.
Yeah.
Is that what we're saying? Like if you did it by sound for that first word, the Ḳukahaa?
Yeah. So for example, there are words that have a classifier and you make a sound. When we're looking at the gloss here, we're noting that there is no specific sound adding, which still has meaning. Even though you're not making a sound in Tlingit, it has meaning and it affects the way you pronounce the verb. It tells you what tones to use, how to say it in the future form. It actually gives you a lot of information, and we'll get there as a group. But that's
So
pretty advanced.
if you're writing it, do you write it like that?
No, I would say for now, just focus on the word, especially if we're just starting out.
So we're not pronouncing one of the A's.
We're pronouncing it like this, kuhanti. This is the double A is a long A, so
Okay.
yeah,
Kuhanti.
yeah.
So what's the letter that we're not pronouncing?
So for example, for other verbs, you would put either an L sound, or an S sound, or an SH sound, sh, or what are the other classifiers? A couple of others.
Yes. No.
Yeah, yeah, I can show you an example. Since you're curious, I want to.
ST?
I'll show you an example since you're curious about, let's see, Tlingit verbs. Tlingit verbs. So what I'm opening up now, because I want to nurture your curiosity, and I love that you have these questions. So let me see if we have Han in the verb database. Oops, go up.
Stand or flee.
Yeah, so our verb that we're looking at doesn't have this one specifically, but if we go to like another verb that we've looked at so far is goot, to walk. Oops, let's go. We want goot.
So there's for goot, then there's really quite a lot of translations.
There are a lot of translations. This is where Tlingit becomes very sophisticated because you can take one verb root, goot, and look at all the different meanings you can pull from it.
But
and
the main one is like go, go.
Yeah,
go, go to, go back, go in.
Yep,
go
exactly, for one person to go on foot. The way you can make it more specific. So, like I mentioned, this is your verb root, and what comes before it is the classifier. For this example, for a singular subject to go on foot, we have a zero classifier, meaning we don't make a sound there. So, for example, if I expand it and look down, if I want to say he or she is going there, I would just say ya nagut. So there's no sound right before gut. This na is a different prefix.
So how would you, but you still said ya nagut.
Yeah. But let me show you for comparison to be more specific. So if you look above it, the entry is to let in an animal. And we have this S sound right before the verb root. And so the S sound is the classifier. Now we're going to make an S sound there. And if we do, if we look at the perfective form, ausigut. So you hear this s right before gut. And that's how a speaker will know that it's specifically to let somebody in versus to go on foot. I'm giving
so what's the sound that we're not hearing then that we don't?
So if you compare the S classifier form ausigut to the zero classifier ya nagut, you're not hearing this s sound.
Okay, but it's still spelled the same.
No, it's spelled with an S if you pronounce an S and nothing if you don't pronounce something there.
Oh yeah, I'm so confused.
That's okay because that's what we're doing. We're taking a deep dive. You're just starting out. Just accept that this is something that you're going to dive into one day, but you're not expected to know this right now.
Well, that's a relief.
Yeah. Good. When I was brand new, and I started looking at this, I I made use of it by just clicking on an option and just reading it out of curiosity. You can take direct English translations and find the Tlingit equivalent. That's one way you can use it as a beginner. But I wouldn't expect this of you as a very beginner. This is more
God. Oh,
intermediate and advanced. I'm glad you're curious about it.
okay, I have to go because I have to go to work now. So
Okay.
thank
Okay.
you. Have a great rest of your class, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good day at work.
Goodness, cheese. Thank you.
Yeah. So let's work on the translation practice for this first part. And I'm going to make this bigger, and I want everyone to unmute and repeat this top line after me. And just do your best. Just kind of relax and repeat the sounds after me. Ya táakw, ḵunáx.
Yeah.
And we're going to focus on the translation, and then we'll go into our pronunciation practice. So I'm going to open up our dictionary, and we won't get through the whole thing today, but we will continue studying this over the next couple of weeks. So as my dictionary pulls up here, I'm going to share my whole desktop so that you can see what I'm looking up. Okay, do you see a little bit of purple background now?
Mhm.
Okay, good. So I'm gonna move this guy over here. And any ideas so far on a translation for ya or táakw?
Winter.
I only know ḵuwsi.áatʼ.
Oh, good. Okay, what is ḵuwsi.áatʼ?
I think it's like cold or somehow related to the weather.
Related to cold. So I'm going to put in brackets related to cold because there is more meaning than just cold. Something in here tells us whether it is cold or was cold, but we're going to get to that together. So good start.
Táakw, is that winter?
Yeah, táakw is winter. And how did you know that, Utaka?
I just know this. Know the seasons. I'm starting to be able to recall the seasons, I should say.
Okay, awesome. So for everyone else, Łutsaka has been studying previously and has memorized some of these vocabulary words. So if you didn't know already, it's okay. If you want to look up a word, we can use the dictionary. And if you have it opened up on the PDF, you can expand this bookmark, and it'll take you to the letter that you want to start at. A quicker way to look up a word in the PDF file of the dictionary is to hit Command F if you're on a Mac or Control F if you're on a PC. That opens up your search bar, and now you can type in your word. So I'm going to type in táakw, and I see here, it might be small on your screens, but it says táakw, and it tells me that there are 16 appearances of the word táakw. I'm going to click it and zoom in so you can see. And we're going to scroll through the entries until we get a pretty good idea for the word for people who didn't already know what táakw means. So I'm going to hit enter in my search bar and just scroll through them all. We see an entry for katagu, which is age. And this is where the dictionary gets really fun for me, is if you keep reading, you see age in years and a literal translation, the years on her or him, katagu, and it's pronounced katagu. So táakw can be winter. It can also be a way to describe years. Because if a
Is that,
winter,
is it like how many winters you've been through is how you
yeah,
calculate your age?
that's a good way to think about it. Because if a winter went by, a year went by. So
Right.
you can think about it as winters or years. Okay. And I'm going to scroll past this one. So sometimes when you're searching in the dictionary, you'll find the same letters, táakw, like as in táakw, but what's different about this táakw from what we're looking at?
Not a high
No
tone.
high tone.
Exactly. So this is where tone, we can see that it applies specific meaning. So if it's not high tone, it's a different meaning. So we're gonna scroll past this one. Okay, sometimes the tone will change, like in táakw nasi, because it's part of another word. So the tone might change there. Táakw. Oh, and it does. Táakw is the clan people of the winter village, but it's contracted into another word. So we're looking for táakw with a high tone for our translation purposes, and we want to be specific to it. Táakw contracted to ite, means spring, so remains of winter. And here we have our entry for táakw as its own word, which is the way we saw it written in our story. And so this is the entry we're going to use for our translation. Oh my gosh, I wish I had you for like 6 more hours. We would just do this all day. Okay, we have time for 1 more, 2 more guesses for these other words.
Ḵunáx, very.
Yeah, ḳunáx is very. And then just to confirm, if we're looking it up in the dictionary, we can type it in and make sure you get your tones and underlines correct. And then you can scroll through and find it. Yeah, ḳunáx. I'm real lazy. So you're seeing emphasis for really, very. I'm really sick. Ḳunáx. Ḵúnáx tastes real sweet. Excellent. And then what about this? Yeah.
This.
Yeah, this. So we have a couple minutes. Let's explore this ḳúwsi.áatʼ and see if we can find it in our verb database. We can start in the dictionary. We know it's related to cold. So if I type it in exactly as we saw it, let's start there and see if it appears. ḳúwsi.áatʼ. Okay. ḳúwsi.áatʼ, the weather got cold is the translation we see for ḳúwsi.áatʼ. So we could start there and dive further into it if we want to. But here we're lucky we have a literal translation for this exact word conjugated as it appears in our story. This is a lucky find. When you're translating and transcribing materials, it takes a lot of detective work, and someday you all are going to be doing it, professionally. And so this is the kind of thing where you're like, that's a win. So I'm going to type the weather got cold and end there. And so to be continued, next week we will practice our pronunciation of these words, and we'll continue diving into the story. Are there any questions or comments before we go? Next week is Thanksgiving week, but we will still have class because we're going to meet on Tuesday, the 21st. I will send recordings to René, and also I'll email the links to Ati so that you can watch them sooner. Any other questions or comments? Okay, love you, bye.
This was great. This was really great. Thank you very
Merci,
much.
Chatelaine.
Good, I'm glad. Yike, tsuye,
Merci.
Yike.
Your classes are really fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Aw, Yike, I'm glad to hear that. Okay, Tiag and Johan, I'll see you later.